Mandalorian. I don't know. But this season so far, we have just watched the episode with Jack Black and Lizzo. This is where we are at in Star Wars. With Christopher Lloyd, who's they wheeled him in to sit at a desk.
Ready to watch me, Wally?
To do a Scooby-Doo freaking plot.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for your meddling Lizzo.
That's right, Christopher Lloyd. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
It pains me because the same day I watched that episode and the Super Mario movie, and Jack Black is really good in one of them, and the other one it's just like, what am I watching? It felt like a SNL sketch, It felt like. It felt like, like where they don't really know, like, especially Lizzo doesn't know where, like, she's looking and, like, she's trying to read the cue cards and she's flatly just saying the lines. Doesn't even, understand what the scene is.
The last, 3 or 4 episodes, and maybe even the first 2, I'm just like, what the fuck? Did they slice this budget down to nothing? Like, all of a sudden, this show that used to... Remember the episode where they fought the Crate Dragon and it was like... You'd go watch that in a movie theater in a heartbeat. Suddenly, it feels like you're watching like the cheapest shit. Cheap.
Yeah, this season's been off, and I think it's really dumb, like really dumb. I don't know if that's just me, but it's just like things where the Mandalorians are in this cave, and then that alligator comes out and tries to eat the youngling or whatever, or the foundling, whatever they call them. Yeah. Everything's a ling, an ing. And then later there's like pterodactyls coming to steal the children too. And then the Mandalorians are like, he always gets away with it. It's like, wait, this is always happening? Why are you still here? It's like everything's so stupid.
But here's the problem. You're right about all of it. And yet, when I pop on a new Mando, I'm still going like, oh, good. I get to watch the new Mando. I did not feel that way about, obviously, She-Hulk. I did not feel that way about Rings of Power. I was like, oh my God, an hour of this. And I didn't feel that way about Andor, which is admittedly a much better show than season 3 of The Mandalorian. But I still think that even when it's Lizzo on a plywood set with Jack Black razzing her the whole time, and somehow it's still Star Warsy enough to bring me along for the ride. Where I'm still kind of going like, oh, it'll be neat to see a battle droid. It'll be neat to see an Ugnaught. I don't know. Like, I still don't. Maybe it's like just short enough for me. Maybe I like Din Djarin. I don't know. But I'm still like, I don't hate the show.
I don't know if I feel the same way. I feel like there's something that's paining me about the season. It's hard for me to articulate.
No, I mean, you're right. You're definitely right.
And it just like everything's, it just feels wrong. Like I thought the first episode. The first couple episodes felt like it was on one trajectory, and then they got notes because remember how they dropped where they're trying to fix the Taika Waititi droid, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, just take R5 and move along with the plot. And
why did it go down that way?
That was like the turning point where I'm like, oh, something's wrong, something's weird. And this episode,
do you think something happened to Filoni? Because it does feel a bit like a cheapo physical set version of like Bad Batch, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It definitely feels more children's show.
Yeah.
And I totally skipped that. There's a whole season of Bad Batch that happened, and I haven't seen.
You couldn't pay me.
You couldn't pay me to watch it. My friends. But
my friends.
Yeah. So this episode was a Scooby-Doo episode. And then and Bo-Katan stuff. There's
Bo-Katan.
Boba Fett, female Boba Fett, Bo-Katan. I'm not feeling any of this stuff. And then the Yoda doll is around, but he has nothing to do. and so they just like throw him in Lizzo's lap for the episode.
Oh, I hate when he leaps because it's it solves like a production problem to have him be able to do that.
Yeah, they like put him on fish wire. They speed up the camera.
Yeah, or they do it backwards or some shit. Lizzo has to pretend to.
Like, oh, the baby is doing an actual flip instead of a puppet being swung around by fish wire.
So just to be clear, when you're watching it, you're like waiting for it to be done, like you're pissed off the whole time.
It's like it is like, I don't know, somebody's just like, I don't know, like digging their nails into me or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain because I want to be entertained, and it's just not doing it. It feels off. It feels like I've been bait and switched. Like somebody's like, "Oh, here's the Mandalorian," and then they switched it with the Bad Batch with like, while I wasn't looking, but it still kind of looks like the Mandalorian, but feels like Bad Batch.
I'm definitely convinced that they must have gotten it from the top, where they were like, "We can't be spending this much money," and I bet you they had talks where they were like, "I bet the audience won't notice."
Yeah, and not that the writing in this show, it's always kind of been video game plot and stuff like that, but it even feels, just everything feels like every decision feels dumber. Like it doesn't feel like
the performances are stiff as a board.
Yeah, stiff as a board. The stunt double with Pedro Pascal's voice. It just
is it just
work
me, or when Bo-Katan has her helmet on, she looks a lot smaller?
It's just me.
It's like Power Rangers, where like when they morph, they're tiny little Japanese folks.
Yeah, some of the girls are men.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to see here. As a kid, I never noticed.
Yeah, it's something. So I don't know. Star Wars has been degraded and desecrated enough that it shouldn't bother me, but Mandalorian felt like the last refuge, like the last gasp of quality. And
or for that matter, Favreau and Filoni felt like they were standard bearers of quality Star Wars, and it's like, okay, if they're gonna let the standards slip this much, then like what hope do any of us have? I don't know. Favreau is a great filmmaker, but he does like come out with stuff that just doesn't work some of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nobody went in for that live action Lion King movie, for instance.
And also, I don't know if he's writing a lot of these episodes, so I don't know if he can write for long TV episodes. Maybe he can do a nice, tight 1.5-hour movie or 2-hour movie. But these long, there's like 3 episodes left. We're on that, like, there's 3 episodes left, and I don't really I don't know where we're going. Like I don't have I don't feel good about the season as a whole. So even, I should be wanting more, and I don't know what I should be expecting. I don't know what I should be yearning for.
I kind of liked watching the Mandos rescue the kid from the pterodactyls.
Okay, can you please explain that to me? Where's the joy? Where's the enjoyment of helping the like really low IQ Mandalorians who live near dangerous animals?
I just thought it was cool that they had that, like a hideout, and they all put on their helmets and their jetpacks, and they went and hunted. They went and saved one of their kids. And it was kind of like, it was a cheap episode, but the fact that it was small in scope kind of made it work. And
I almost laughed when they like made camp, because I was like, that kid's dead. Like, and then the bird, the pterodactyl, like regurgitates him, and he's like perfectly whole, no goop on him.
I'll eat you in the morning. I'll wait for these guys to make camp. Yeah, that's funny.
It took me out of it. It's too.
I kind of appreciate. I thought that Bo-Katan's tribe of Mandos was going to kind of. I thought eventually they were going to paint the culty Mandalorians as backwards and crazy and self-destructive and Kool-Aid drinking, and that he would eventually have to defect, and then he would take his helmet off and he would be like a proper Mandalorian. I thought that's where they were going, like in season 1. And I actually sort of appreciate that the more he grows, the more he doubles down on the cult. And she
brings Bo-Katan into his cult.
He brings her in on it. And that she kind of finds meaning with this smaller group, and like her more secular group kind of sucks. I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's very un-Disney to be like, yes, tradition is important.
Yes, as much religion as you can.
But then it doesn't make sense because the armor is like, you could take off your helmet now, walk both ways, it's good now, but it doesn't, because we need to see Katie Sackhoff sometimes.
Like, we can't have a third episode in a row where it's his helmets banging into each other.
It's just all stunt actors.
She in this past episode, Katie Sackhoff did not. It looked like she did not know where she was.
Yeah, her delivery of some of her lines is bizarre.
Yeah, she is like a community theater actress.
Yeah.
She's like, do you yield? I have the dark saber, and I will go to Mandalore. it's that kind of I don't know, like canned performance.
But I feel like I've seen her in the cartoons where she's better as a voice actress almost. Or maybe it just the campiness of the children's shows is maybe more appropriate for that style of acting.
Yeah, I almost feel like they're instructing them to be wooden. Did you watch Battlestar Galactica with her in it as Starbuck?
Yeah.
That show is pretty good until it wasn't.
Yeah, I can't even. I know it went off the rails. Like everyone was a secret Cylon, and there was like an angel and biblical things, but it didn't make much sense. And they found Earth.
Levels of symbolism.
Yeah, they found Earth, and it's actually our Earth, and it's in the future, the past. I don't know.
I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure I understood any of it. It was during that time when they were just figuring out mystery boxes, and it became that. And
I was too naive to know from miles away that they got nothing. And so I was like, what the fuck's going on in this show?
We could find it. They have a plan. They don't have a plan.
It's crazy. It's not crazy.
It's not crazy.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.